Triple M, it is Robbie and Carly. Now we've got a very special guest on the line with us, Ollie from Lime Cordiale. The great man joins us ahead of the Ord Valley Muster in mid-May. G'day, Ollie. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Now, look, Ollie, straight off the bat, I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but why Lime Cordiale and not Lime Cordial?
Well, I don't know. It was everyone regrets their band name, don't they? No, well, the Lime part comes from our last name, Limeback. It's me and my brother. We're both the singers of the band, write all the music and stuff. And when we were starting to write music, people were already calling us, our mates were already calling us the Lime. And we were overseas at our aunt she lives in France, right? And she runs this really small classical music festival called Musique Cordiale. And the cordial part, it comes from the word cordial, but meaning, to be cordial, to be friendly. So yeah, we're at that festival when we were sort of thinking about putting a band together and writing songs for the first time. So we were just like, why don't we call our band Lime Cordiale? Which was, as I said, it's a stupid decision, but you got to run with it.
Do you feel like...
Love that, by the way. I don't think you should regret that at all. Now you've explained yourself. It makes total sense.
No regrets. It's just a bit self-deprecating, but for sure.
Do you feel like you live up to the name, mate? Are you cordial in all situations?
I like to think so. I guess probably other people, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think we're pretty friendly. But, it's a pretty funny one because you get to the States and they all say cordial. And so you go, we're lime cordial. And they can't get that word out of their mouth. They have to go, lime cordial. Yeah, whatever.
That'll do.
But it's not my name in general in the States. I go, it's Oliver. And they go, Oliver? And I go, Oliver. They go, Oliver? And I go, Oliver. I go, Oliver. You're like, oh, man, I've got a completely different name here.
So funny.
I love it. Hey, you guys are coming here for the Ord Valley Muster. It's funny because the music industry, especially in a post-COVID world, has taken a huge hit. So to see a festival like this still get off the ground, let alone one that is so special and holds so much meaning, must feel pretty cool to be a part of.
Yeah, and I think it's the festivals that are outside of the major cities that are really popping off, because there's just an appreciation for music. You play Kununurra, it's kind of the talk of the town. This festival's coming up, and everyone wants to go, and every artist wants to go there. Like we've done a million festivals around Sydney and Melbourne, and they're all fun. But when this festival offer came through, I was like, Kununurra, where's that again? I punched it into maps, and I was like, 100% we're doing this.
Have you made your way into Northern WA before, mate, or is this going to be the first time that you've gone up that far?
No, we did a really cool gig over in Northern Territory in Katherine, which was up on Nitmaluk Gorge, and we were up on a lookout, and we set up this thing off grid and filmed it live streamed from there as the sun was going down. And so that's the closest we've been to Kununurra. And I guess that's 5.5 hours or something like that. But for you guys, that's just down the road.
It's around the corner.
Yeah. You have covered a lot of ground. As you mentioned before, obviously you've toured around the States. And do you have a favourite place that you love to play?
We love going overseas and we love going through Europe and going through America, but you sort of max out at a certain amount of time. So 6 weeks over in Europe, 6 weeks in America. After that, I'm like, I need to get back to Australia. And that's when if you're in San Francisco or, Washington, DC or Columbus, Ohio, it's all fun, but it's nothing like Australia. So you're over there and we're just daydreaming about this festival, I can't wait to play some shows up around the coast, and then, oh, we've got that Kununurra festival. That's going to be mad, you know. We actually get out into the wilderness and get to go fishing, and you just daydream about being back in Australia because it's so amazing. So it really is the favourite country to play in, and all the audiences are just fun and wild, and you know, the gigs are just always crazy wherever you are. So yeah.
You boys are always keeping pretty busy, but I saw you've got an orchestra thing coming up. Can you tell us a bit about that? Because that looks amazing.
Yeah, well, if anyone's, you know, going to be close to Perth, we're doing it with the Western Australian Symphony Orchestra. But yeah, that's just something that got offered to us, and we jumped at it because we grew up as classical musicians. Our mum's a cellist and taught us music, and this is, you know, we've played at the Opera House at like in school bands and things, and we've been to the Opera House so many times. So to be playing with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra at the Opera House is like serious bucket list tickers. So yeah, we're going around Australia with the different symphony orchestras, and we join a different orchestra in each city, and you know, we have a day of rehearsal. I guess they slap the sheet music in front of them, and they're all such amazing musicians that they you know, they know how to play it. So we'll be working with an arranger on the lead up to that and make sure that we just put something together that's pretty different and wild. And I just don't want it to seem like any other show that we've ever played. So really stoked for that to be coming up.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And also congratulations on Enough of the Sweet Talk peaking at #1 on the ARIA album charts. I don't know if you saw online, but there was recently a lot of conversation about how more recently we've seen a lack of Aussie artists on the ARIA charts. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, we were the first Australian #1 album, I think, for nearly a year when we got our #1. And, you know, people are wanting to go out to shows. You just really got to give them an amazing thing to go to. You know, like when Taylor Swift comes or, you know, Fred again or something, people are flocking to those shows and stadiums are selling out. And I think during COVID, people got a lot of Australian music, so people are rushing to the internationals. But I think it just gives us a bit more of a challenge to step up to it, really. Like our last big tour, we had Ballpark Music supporting us, which is, we couldn't even believe they said yes to that. But it just meant that it was, you know, an epic show. It wasn't only us. It was, you know, two of people's favourite bands on there, I guess. And it just, you know, for us to work towards a #1, we didn't just do a, you know, Instagram post. We like went around the country, record stores and signings, and put on a bunch of shows, and we just kind of did everything we could to really fight for that, because whenever we release music, we're inevitably up against whoever, whether it's Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, or Chapel Roan. Like, at the end of the day, even though they're in another country, they're kind of competing for people's attention. So you just got to fight harder, really.
And I'm so good that you do that. And it's so great that you come to WA, because what we've seen more recently is big artists like your Lady Gagas and Olivia Rodriguez and Taylor Swift snub us completely. So it's great that Aussie artists do actually make the effort. And I know it can sometimes be more expensive to actually bring shows here.
Yeah, well, screw them. Don't worry about them. Just listen to Lime Cordiale. That's all you need.
Love that. Love that. Hey, Ollie, at the start of this interview, I texted my sister and I've been frantically waiting for her to reply, because you know the suits that you guys wear on stage, speaking of live shows? She was the...
Yeah, they're nude. We haven't been wearing them for a while, but they're the cowboy sort of nudie suits.
Yeah. I'll start wearing them again. My sister designed them for you.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah,
No
she did all the
way.
pictures.
Oh, they're incredible. You know, we wore those so much that, we took those to Europe and we wore them around Europe, but our shows were so back to back that we couldn't get them washed. And so we were wearing them on stage, and we'd open up the suitcase and be like, oh my God. Like, no one interact with anyone in the audience tonight, because this is getting hectic.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, I'll tell her that you wore the bum out of them and she'll be very proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe time for a new order then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We got them dry cleaned, and I really want to get them framed. Like it's a Michael Jackson suit or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I got to
actually.
see these suits now. I'm definitely going to get on Google.
Yeah, give them a Google. They're great. They're awesome. Well, Ollie, mate,
Yeah, they're sort of cowboy embroidered suits, but we did it with all Australian flora and fauna, and yeah, it's all embroidered up and down the leg and along the sleeves. They look amazing.
I'm telling you, you couldn't wear them in Kununurra. You'd be adding to the stink.
There you go.
No, mate, thanks for having a good chat with us today. We're really excited to get you over to WA, and Ord Valley Muster is going to be absolutely awesome and epic. So, mate, appreciate your time.
Too good. Thanks so much for having me.